I do see why people say trust nobody, and I say that sometimes as well. Or I remember that clip of what's his name, Tupac, when he was in um jail, and he was saying trust nobody. He was like, my own friends did me in. Trust nobody, whatever the case may be, right? And as I've been on this journey as a generational curse breaker, I done had family do me dirty. I done had my mom do me dirty. I didn't come across a lot of friends and just associates, people through TikTok, you feel me? People through social media, just in general, meeting human beings, you feel me? And I think on one end, obviously, you can't trust people in this world, right? But I think the main reason why people feel so strongly, including myself, about trust nobody is because when you're a genuine person, right, and you carry yourself with a certain level of loyalty and integrity, and you show a certain amount of love that a lot of people won't. A lot of people play games out here, and a lot of people are selectively genuine, right? Um, and then sometimes people got a little bit of animosity on the inside of them, to where they might show you love on the forefront. For the most part, like 80%, but they still got that like they want to throw jabs at you, or they don't want you to rise, or they got a problem with you, but it's not really with you, it's with themselves. And I can honestly say I do not project anything that I got going on. If I'm mad, then I will stay to myself. If I'm angry, then I will most likely stay to myself. And if you come across me, I'm not trying to personally dig at you. Or if somebody states their, because I notice people do this a lot, if somebody states their opinion that I know, I might disagree with it, but I'm not going to take that, make it personal, and wait until another situation to throw a shot at them or dig at them, or to be petty, like, well, you said this, or throw a little passive aggressive comment. People that be saying da 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 X, Y, and Z. We just don't agree on that. You know what I'm saying? And we can't even have a conversation about it, but like fucking throwing shots at you and shit, that's what enemies do. But basically, what I'm saying is, I feel like the main reason why people say don't trust nobody is because if you are a highly genuine person, like I said, and you go out your way for people and you don't project on the people, you don't throw shots at people, the chances of you finding other people like that are 100% not like that, or 90%, you might find 80 maybe, is very rare. Is very rare. So when Tupac says that, or when anybody in this world says that, because we all humans, Tupac is just an example, a popular example. But when people say that, it is because finding people like that is rare, to trust people, or to have people in your life with that type of energy is so rare. I had a friend for 10, I had multiple friends for 10 plus years. And um it took for me one time, I had a friend that was for 10 plus years. I'm gonna speak on this specific one. um we was cool. Every time we linked up, everything was cool, positivity, bigging each other up, whatever the case may be. And it wasn't until I started my YouTube back up, and I remember we was at the basketball court, and we had just left, and we was in good spirits, we was hooping, and he said something about, oh yeah, something you gonna do, oh you've been doing those little videos and da 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 da. And it was like in the midst of the conversation, I kind of let that go. In the midst of our conversation, we always sat and had deep talks. He threw 4 shots at me, and after that, our relationship was never the same. I eventually cut him off after that, because it got weird after that. Because it was like, as soon as I went from, because I remember I used to motivate him, because he used to always say, no matter what we did, I'm gonna give y'all an example. For example, we went to play ball. We was getting cooked. It was like everybody said timeout, so we went to go chill in the car, or whatever the case may be, while people was drinking their water and shit, going to get water. And I remember in the car, he said, "Dang, we getting cooked, bro. I don't know if we gonna come back." I said, "No, bro, we gonna come back. Watch." right? That was one instance. We both was trying to join the police academy, right? And then I remember, um, I was like, bro, we can do it. And he kept saying, I don't know, you might be able to. I don't know. That was another instance. So in those two instances, I showed that I had natural confidence, right? I didn't know all of this until I started doing personal development on myself, seeing who I was carrying myself around, and noticing what true confidence is. And I was like, oh, okay, so that's why he rocked with me. That's why my other homie rocked with me. You know what I'm saying? And I started to notice, like, dang, bro had some major insecurities. But it wasn't until certain moments where he was like, ha ha ha, he had to throw them shots at me to knock me down to that level. But see what I mean? How he was a solid dude for a long time. But if you start doing like a YouTube, or you start showing like confidence in small stuff, basketball, or trying to join the police academy with them, when you when you're on the same level, and you trying to rise, but you want to pull them up, but they didn't put themselves in position to get there, they didn't work on themselves, or whatever the case may be, they'll either want to tear you down, throw shots at you in little passive aggressive ways, or whatever the case may be. Basically, that's, I went on this long tangent, but basically this is what they mean, or people in general, when they say trust nobody. Because as humans, we desire sometimes somebody who can be like us. And then we get to a point where we realize that if you find that, which is so rare, then that's amazing. But the chances of you finding that in this world is slim to none. And we go through pain and betrayal and suffering before we either isolate ourselves, before we either build up walls, and then we may never find that person because that person is 9 times out of 10 rare, or or we may never come across them in our lifetime. Maybe they're in Japan or something. You know what I'm saying? So I think that's why people say don't trust people, because if you're a genuine person, solid person, the chances of you coming across somebody who will match your energy in regards to confidence, energy, loyalty, respect, and even if they got something going on with themselves, or they mad that day, or whatever the case may be, they're not going to use whatever they got going on internally to try to knock you down a couple pegs. You feel what I'm saying? That's my perspective on that.